Hi, and welcome to today's Wellness Wednesday video. Today, the flower essence that came up it's kind of a different one. Most times I can see why this comes up for the collective, but this time, this one feels a little bit more personal. And it does come up under personal relationships. And it's the essence of fairy lantern. Yeah, fairy lantern. And what that flower essence helps with, it helps with twofold on the personal relationships area. So it talks about, when you look it up specifically under personal relationships, it talks about for people who take on the parenting role in their relationships, and not as a parent, but like within their partners or with friends, and they take on that parenting role. Um, but then it also talks about the other side of that, which is the one who takes on the role of the child, that feigning helplessness, uh, and needing, yeah, that neediness. Um, so I guess really why this is coming up is it's for anyone who's looking at their relationships right now and recognizing codependency patterns, because both of those are very codependent. So those who need to take on that parenting role need to have that power, need to have that control, so they will naturally attract someone who is the opposite, who needs a parent, needs to be parented. And lots of times it may work well at first because it's filling that need, but the more you go into the relationship, it starts to get very frustrating from both sides, because you don't want to be parented as an adult, and on the other side of that, you also don't want to parent. If this is your romantic relationship, you don't want to be their parent. And so it can be very frustrating. But if you set those patterns in place, and have those patterns within yourself, then it can cause a lot of issues within relationships. And so I think that's why this is coming up for anyone who's doing some relationship work, who's doing some healing. Both of these patterns are set in childhood. So the one that needs to play the parent, quite often in childhood, was maybe given the responsibility of taking care of younger siblings. Lots of times there's illness or dysfunction within the family, so they take on that parenting role, and then that just carries throughout their life. And yes, it may serve them well in some areas of their life, but again, when you're talking about romantic relationships, especially romantic relationships, nobody wants to be parented, even if you are taking on the other one's taking on the child role. And that codependency is not healthy for anyone. And it's not healthy for your own growth and your own maturation, I guess. So there's that side of it. And then the other side is the helplessness. And that one with Fairy Lantern, it talks about people who were raised where they weren't allowed to kind of express their individuality or create their personality. Um, Really rigid kind of homes where they didn't have a lot of freedom. And so they stay in that kind of eternal child role. And so that's that helplessness and that neediness, because they almost stay retarded in that stage, and feel that they do need someone to take care of them. And this can all be unconsciously done, and most times it is. You don't go on dating sites and say, "Hey, I want to be a child forever. I need a mama," or "Hey, I want to be a mama. I need a child." So anyway, um, yeah, sorry. This flower essence will help both of those patterns that have developed, and can help make changes in your personal relationship. Because as soon as one shifts, the other automatically has to. It may take time, it may take a lot of frustration on both parts, but if you stop playing the parents, the other one has to stop playing helplessness. It's like the pendulum. So if one is way over on the parenting side, then that leaves very little power and control for the one playing the child, which again works well at the beginning, but that's not what you want in a relationship, a healthy relationship. And so as soon as this one swings back and pulls back into a more natural relationship, a more healthy relationship, the other one has to kind of swing or leave, is kind of the choice. And so, again, I think this one came up for those who are doing the work, for those who are maybe recognizing that they have this. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be their personal relationships. You may be noticing within friends and things like that. Maybe you're the friend that always does all the organizing and plans everything, and then you have the other friend who, doesn't do anything and just kind of floats in and floats out and doesn't take any responsibility for anything. It can be with that too. But I really feel that this is coming up for codependent relationships. So if you are recognizing this in your relationship and you're finding it frustrating, Fairy Lantern can help release those patterns. So we're just going to say that as the assist with, because it's for either. So if this resonates and you feel you want to shift this pattern, and you're ready to shift this pattern and you're ready to come back to healthy relationships, then just repeat after me. I ask for the flower essence of Fairy Lantern to enter my energy field, energy body, and physical consciousness with the help of the divine. I ask for the flower essence of Fairy Lantern to assist me with releasing dysfunctional parenting child patterns picked up in childhood. I ask for the flower essence of Fairy Lantern to manifest, to integrate, and then feel into your body and see where you feel it. And if you don't, you can just put your hands on your temples and say, and stabilize. And if this is a really deeply ingrained pattern, you may need to do that a couple times. Follow your intuition on that, how many times you want to bring it in. And just know that that's there to help you shift that pattern so that you can have a healthy, mature relationship, the one that you probably want if you're looking at your relationships. So I hope this, well, I know it'll find who it needs to find, because like I said, usually the messages seem more broad, but this one seems very specific. So I'm guessing it's for people who are doing that inner work right now. So this will find you, I'm sure. And if it's found you, then it's probably for you. And as always, if you're interested in a personal healing session, you can DM me or reach out to me on my website. In the meantime, much love and take care of yourself.